When it comes to English literature, this one book can be seen all the time in the list. This book is neither from the golden era of English literature nor from the greatest era of Britain. So what made this work a timeless piece of English literature that impacted on many generations of readers and writers? Born in 1775 in Steventon, Hampshire, Jane was the seventh of 8 children. Jane was already writing during her childhood, and all of Jane's work that were published during her lifetime were written under her pen name, A Lady. She was considered a successful author during her lifetime, and the money she earned with her writing allowed her to be independent. This is the time period when romance emerged into the work of art and literature, known as the Georgian era, covering the reign of George I, II, III, and IV, as well as that of William IV. But not just this one book, her other works are great as well, and considered as the part of classic English literature. She is known primarily for her 6 novels that are Sens And Sensibility, 1811, Pride and Prejudice, 1813, Mansfield Park, 1814, Emma, 1815, Northanger Abbey, 1817, Persuasion, 1818. Her novels are often included in school syllabi from middle school into college because of their importance to literary history. Let's try to understand 6 characteristics of Jane Austen's writing. Jane Austen's novels have a number of distinctive features that makes her work stand out from other literature of the time. Some recognizable characteristics and themes of Austen's work include colloquial language. Austen's dialogue is written in colloquial speech style of the time, capturing the realism of the way that people communicating when navigating the nonsense of society. Satire. In books like Emma and Pride and Prejudice, Jane parodies the social culture of her time, offering a sometimes scathing commentary on the obligation of marriage. Romantic comedy. Most of Jane's writing is a blend of romance and comedy, with many of her stories like Mansfield Park and Emma ending in engagements or an assumption that the romantic leads gets married and live happily ever after. Examination of class. From Mansfield Park to Sens And Sensibility to Northanger Abbey. Many of Jane's stories begin with young, middle-class or working-class women being sent to live with wealthy relatives or neighbors, opening up a whole new social and romantic world to these young heroines. Morality. Jane's characters like Elizabeth Bennet of Pride and Prejudice struggle with acting in accordance with their social duty and following their hearts, reflecting a battle between individual and the rest of society. Gender. Many of Jane's narrative centers around gender constructs. Her novels focus specifically on what it means to be a woman living in a period of repression and rigid social expectation of proper female behavior. Jane's work implicitly interpret, critique, and comment upon the British landed gentry at the end of the 18th century. Austen's plot often explore the dependence of women on marriage for the pursuit of favorable social standing and economic security. Her works are an implicit critique of the novels of sensibility of the second half of the 18th century and are part of the transition to the 19th century literary realism. Her deft use of social commentary, realism, and biting irony have earned her acclaim among critics and scholars. Since her death in 1817, Austen's novels have rarely been out of print. A significant transition in her reputation occurred in 1833 when they were republished in Richard Bentley's standard novel series. Austen used comedy to explore the individualism of women's life, gender relations, and she appears to have used it to find the goodness in life, often fusing it with ethical sensibility, creating artistic tension. Critic Robert Pomis writes, "To appreciate the drama and achievement of Austen, we need to realize how deep was her passion for both reverence and ridicule, and her comic imagination reveals both the harmonious and the telling contradiction of her mind and vision as she tries to reconcile her hysterical bias with her sense of the good."